What's going on, YouTube? This is my 2025 Kawasaki Z900. Wanted to give you guys a nice review of this bike as I've owned it for about 1,500 miles now. Out here on a beautiful day, and wanted to get the bike out and also test out this new camera that I got. So not the best quality, and in fact the audio was pretty rough, so I did want to at least provide a voiceover here to share some of my perspective. I did not think the wind noise and outside noise would be super bad, so next time we'll be riding with a microphone inside of my helmet to reduce some of that wind noise. But anyways, here we are kicking it off on a nice little ride. So really just want to give a little perspective of my 2025 Kawasaki Z900. This is the base model with ABS, and it is in the black colorway. So in the US for 2025, you could either get the black colorway, which is black and gray and has a little bit of that silver bit on it, or you could get the silver and bluish one. I'll say I had an option to get both of them, and I did much prefer the black, but everyone has their own preference. If you do want that Kawasaki green, you will have to get the the Z900 SE model, which is about $2,000 more. You do get some nice bits with that model, so especially if you're tracking or you're a super advanced rider, it might be worth it, right? But for me, I'm just a pretty casual street rider, and may plan a track day or so in the future, but I just kind of stick to twisty back roads and enjoy a nice day out on the bike. So yeah, I'll just give you my first impressions here after riding it for a few months. I feel really used to the bike now, very comfortable on it, so I feel like now I definitely have a good idea of what this bike is capable of. So I guess first I'll start off with the updates for 2025. So 2025 was a pretty big year for the Z900. I went through, I guess, quite a facelift and new generation. So with that was some revisements to the engine from my understanding, but most importantly, the 6-axis IMU and quick shifter were the biggest highlights in my opinion. And we could start off with that quick shifter. So quick shifters, for me, nowadays, it is such a luxury, and I don't think I'll ever buy another bike without one. My first bike was a 2023 KTM Duke 390, and if you guys might know, those do come with a quick shifter and auto blipper as well. To be fair, it was a little clunky, but I gotta say, this Z900 quick shifter is completely flawless. It is quick, and hence the name, right? It is very nice, and I find myself hardly ever touching the clutch when I'm riding naturally, as designed there. But it's really nice, very confident, inspiring. Even with the engine braking on the auto blip down, it does not skid the tire at all. The bike is, everything is speaking to itself on the bike, between the ECU, the quick shifter, the ABS. It is very much aligned, and you can feel that when you're riding for sure. everything is super connected. So very impressed with the quick shifter. You'll see I'm going by a nice little car show here on the right. I don't think I get a nice glimpse of any of those cars, but wanted to go to that car show, but there was nowhere to pull in. So unfortunately I'll have to go another time, but always a great show. So yeah, a little more about the bike. That 6-axis IMU is entirely new for 2025 and something that, differentiates the Z900 from competition out there. So I think competition, if you were to speak right now, the MT-09 is obviously one of the biggest head-to-head rivals of the Z900. It is a wonderful bike. They both are, in fact. I do think, you might get a little bit more for your money when you buy the Z900, but that argument is going away now that the CB1000 Hornet is out. So the 1000 Hornet, I'm sure you've seen a lot about it. It's a pretty solid bike, and it's a pretty good deal, and everything about it is pretty compelling to the naked bike buying market. It's got quite a bit more horsepower at like 156. The Z900 has 124, I believe. That said, my previous bike was a 2008 Yamaha FZ1. Wonderful bike. I do miss it. But that bike, the reason I mention it is because that bike did have 150 horsepower as well. And, the reason I want to even bring that up is because as you can imagine, it was a little downgrade in horsepower for me, but I will say I don't feel that with this bike and the quick shifter. You are flying through the gears. The torque and horsepower hits a lot further down low on the Z900. It's very unlike a lot of 4-cylinder engines out there, to be honest. It truly packs a punch in the low RPMs and mid-range, and I think that's what makes it so fun to ride around the twisties and even in the city. So the engine is just flawless, and paired with that 6-axis IMU and quick shifter, it is just perfect. Everything, like I said, is very connected, and you can wring that engine out super well. It's very predictable, and no complaints from me in terms of how the bike performs. Talk a little bit about the IMU still. So there are 3 riding modes with this motorcycle. You do get rain, road, sport. I do believe you get a customized rider mode as well that you can tailor to your liking. If you're interested in turning off traction control, messing around with some of the other settings, you can do that. So I will say I ride in sport 24/7, and it does have traction control on at the lowest bit, and the front tire does not want to pop up at all. So you do get a little pops if you rip it in first gear, but other than that, you're not really lifting that front tire at all. So it does a great job staying planted, which is very confidence inspiring when you are ripping out of twisties and at a stoplight and just going pretty quick. So no complaints there. The bike does a great job with the 6-axis IMU, and I'm a huge fan of the dash in general. Can't really see it on a video, but one of the cool things with this dashboard is the fact that it actually has a lean angle sensor built into it. So as you lean the bike to the right or to the left, you can basically see exactly the angle that you're leaning at. And obviously I wouldn't stare at this while you're riding, but it is kind of cool to see after a ride, you know, what angle you leaned at. Definitely don't want to get too caught up trying to break my previous record, because obviously you lean too far and whoopsie, you're down on the ground. So nonetheless though, really cool data points that it's pointing out there. Obviously you have your gas gauge on it, you have your speedometer, you have your modes that you're in, you have your, you know, cruise control, all of that. So you know, I guess that leads me to another point. The cruise control is awesome. I will admit I do not use it much, because as you can see by the video, I'm more of a back road twisty type of rider. So on the few highway commutes I've done on this thing, the cruise control has come in handy. It does give your right hand a nice little break, and yeah, I mean, it works as it's intended, just like any other cruise control. So no complaints there. It's easy to use. The buttons to activate it are right up on the left handlebar there, and they are, like I said, they're just easy. So everything is, you know, relatively straightforward with this bike. Not too confusing, very accessible. You know, along the lines of that cruise control, obviously you get that feature because it is ride by wire. And I will say the throttle is perfect for a ride by wire system. Sometimes you get a little bit of that delay, and I gotta say you do not get that delay with the Z900 in the newer 25 and 26 models. It is instantaneous and feels nice. So throttle is great. 6-axis IMU is great. Quick shifter is awesome. Engine is amazing. So 948 or 9 cc's, I believe it is. And yeah, it definitely packs a little bit above its weight class. You know, one of the biggest differences with the Z900 and the competition out there, you know, being the MT09 and the KTMs and the Triumphs, even the Suzukis, right? Like, there's a lot of parallel twins out there in this middleweight type of category, is that you get the 4-cylinder engine. So if you'd like the smoothness of a 4-cylinder, you know, you're not really going to get that unless you get the Z900 or the Hornet 1000. Those are kind of the two options that you'll be able to get a 4-cylinder with. So some people like 4-cylinders, some people like the parallel twins, some people like the triples. They're all great, right? Like, I love all bikes. So I did test ride a MT09, and you know, that bike's a blast. Not gonna lie, it's great. For me, what sold me on the Z900 was I felt like I was getting a few extra features packed into a cheaper price. And yeah, that's predominantly what sold me, but also the looks. So I don't think the MT09 looks good. I like the colorway, especially of the SP. I think it looks pretty nice, but the actual design of the bike looks a little funky to me, especially the headlight. And on these newer Z900s, I think they just have such an aggressive, nice look to them. And that definitely spoke to me when I was you know, choosing between them on the showroom floor there. But yeah, I'm super happy I went with this bike. It is such a blast to ride. And you know, I guess next I will talk about brakes and suspension. So I'll start with suspension. You do get adjustability, rebound, and dampening in the front and the back. I have no complaints about the suspension. It is confident, inspiring, and also soaks up bumps very well. I have not adjusted the suspension yet. I do plan to at some point, but right now it feels pretty nice, and I'm able to whip this bike around and, you know, lean it into corners, and you know, I feel very confident on this. To be fair, I did come from a 2008 Yamaha FZ1, so that, if you know that bike, it's a bit heavier, and it's also a bit longer, and it's just older, right? So, I mean, not bad in the old machines. Some of them are amazing, but you will notice more refinement, obviously, with a bike that's, gosh, 17 years older, or newer. Depends which way you put it, I guess. But yeah, the Z900 suspension is solid. You know, I guess if you're a heavier rider, might be worth getting it adjusted. But for me, it feels pretty solid right now. However, like I said, I still do plan to do some fine tuning to that with my local suspension guy. So, brakes. So what you have are Nissan calipers in the front and back, and they're pretty solid, I gotta say. You know, I think a lot of people opt for the SE because you get the Brembos, but I can stop on a dime with these Nissans. I'm pretty impressed with them. My previous bike also had Nissans on them, and they do the job well. Like, they don't just do the job, they do it very well. And you can stop on a dime in these things. So, no complaints there. You know, I've heard it in a lot of videos. Everyone's always saying the Z900 does everything good, but nothing like super. And I kind of agree, you know. It does. You can't find many things to complain about this bike, but there's not really like one thing that's like, oh, this is perfect. This is, you know, really sticking out against competition. It is, you know, obviously unique. Like I said, it's a 4-cylinder, and comes with a quick shifter, and it's a good price. So that does stick out, but the market is evolving. There are new options out there, and yeah, so I don't know how long the Z will hold that claim to fame, but I think in this market right now, you see a lot of people opting for the MT-09, specifically the MT-09 SP, and it is a great bike. You know, I can't blame those people for getting that bike. It is a wonderful machine. I test rode it, and I did enjoy it. But I don't see as many Zs on the road, so I think that's what also stuck out to me. I want something that's a little different, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there like that. They want something that's a little different, and that people may have some questions about. I go to bike meets all the time, and I rarely see Z900s, but I always see a lot of MT-09s, S1Ks, ZX6Rs, the usual. You guys probably know. But yeah, so in terms of performance, you know, as I've kind of alluded to, this thing is just great. And you'd be, you know, have to be a super nitpick to really find some complaints here. It does very well for how it's priced. It also looks awesome, and that's obviously everyone is going to have their own opinion on the looks, so I'm not asking you to agree with me, but go take a look at one if you're in the market for one. You know, I think they have some nice styling, and you know, I guess that'll lead me to my next point, which is always important, is the sound. So anytime you get a 4-cylinder, I mean, you just know that thing is going to sound great if you throw an exhaust on it. From the factory, I gotta say, it does not sound too good, but not too many bikes sound good from the factory. So Nothing wrong with that. I've thrown a slip-on on it. I did put a Leo Vince LV10 on this bike, and it sounds great. So there's a lot of aftermarket options for exhausts. I encourage you guys to throw one on. But yeah, overall, you know, I do plan on tuning it, plan on throwing a full exhaust, but I'm really impressed with this machine. Not much else to say about it, but you know, I'm new to this moto vlogging, and I'm gonna get better at you know, properly recording the audio and all of that kind of stuff going forward here. But really appreciate you guys tuning in to the video. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm gonna try to make some more content. This camera is brand new, and I'm entirely new to this, like I mentioned, so going to try to, you know, optimize this video recording and get a proper microphone set up in my helmet to reduce some of that wind noise going forward. But in any case, drop a like if you like the video, drop a comment if you got some questions, and thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, guys. Ride safe.